Good afternoon, everybody. You are listening to Lake Stevens Vikings varsity baseball here at Bannerwood Park in Bellevue, Washington, home of the Seattle University Redhawks, as the Vikings play as the road team against the Bellevue Wolverines. Both teams coming off games yesterday. The Vikings beating the Edmonds Woodway Warriors on the road 8-7, while the Bellevue Wolverines got their first win of the season against the Federal Way Eagles, beating them by a score of 5-0. It's currently 73 degrees for a 7 p.m. start here in Bellevue. The starting pitcher for the Lake Stevens Vikings will be Devin McWaters. And as usual, we do not have the Bellevue lineup yet. We will get it once first pitch comes. When we come back, it'll be the top of the first inning where the first pitch will happen, as Lake Stevens will walk up to the plate, bringing up their first three batters in Tanner Lynn, the left fielder, Hunter Salasco, the shortstop, and Aaron Lampinen, who will be playing at first base as one of a few defensive position changes. A couple of others, Theron Perkins once again playing at third base after playing at first yesterday, and Ethan Jansen will be playing at second base, with Aaron and Ethan switching positions. When we come back, it'll be the top of the first from Bannerwood Park here in Bellevue, Washington. And we are now back into the top of the first inning here from Bannerwood Park in Bellevue. Tanner Lynn once again leading off for Lake Stevens against freshman number 14, Braden Tanaka, for the Wolverines. First pitch. Ball one upstairs. First three batters for the Lake Stevens Vikings. Tanner Lynn, the left fielder. Hunter Salasco, who switched in a last-minute change by manager Josh White from shortstop to second base. And the first baseman, Aaron Lampinen. That's one of a few changes. The 1-0. That's a strike one looking. Count is even. The lineup for the 3-1 Lake Stevens Vikings, as told by manager Josh White. First three hitters, Tanner Lynn, Hunter Salasco, and Aaron Lampinen. Middle of the order is Theron Perkins, Ethan Jansen, and Cameron Austin. 1-1. Check swing. Foul ball rolls along the third base line. Count is now 1-2 strikes. Theron Perkins, last-minute defensive change, switch from third base to shortstop. And Ethan Jansen, same thing, switching from second base to third base. Cameron Austin stays the same at center field. Tanaka getting the sign from the catcher, Wayman Whiting. Count is 1-2 strikes. Outside, strike three called, and Tanaka strikes out Tanner to start the top of the first inning. And there is Hunter Salasco entering this game, going 1 for 7, a 143 average, which included an RBI double in the top of the first inning of yesterday's game against Edmonds Woodway, scoring Tanner. He would then have to leave the game due to an injury. First pitch is a strike one as Salasco tried bunting for it. And the bottom three hitters for Lake Stevens, Devin McWaters, the starting pitcher at the 7th spot, Caden Pattison, the right fielder, and Tommy Lindgren, who will play as the starting catcher. Count starts at 0-1. Tanaka the pitch. Hard hit ball. This one going in the left. Back goes the left fielder, Decker Meckham, and it goes over his head to the warning track. Salasco goes to second base, and Hunter Salasco will start off with a leadoff, my mistake, a one-out double in the top of the first inning. That one going over the head of the left fielder, Decker Meckham, going over his head and rolls to the warning track. And the Vikings have a runner in scoring position in the top of the first. Here is Aaron Lampinen, the starting first baseman. It's the first time that he'll be starting at first base in his varsity career. Same thing with Theron Perkins, who will be starting at shortstop for the first time. And Salasco will be starting at second for the first time. First pitch, a strike one looking. And the defensive positions for the Bellevue Wolverines, as told by manager Tate Seafried. On the mound is Braden Tanaka. Behind the plate is Wayman Whiting, 0-1. Hard hit ball. This gets past the glove of a diving Trent Gertz, the third baseman. The left fielder, he slips while getting the baseball, but it keeps Salasco at third. Runners on the corners. A one-out single by Aaron Lampinen. And that brings up Theron Perkins. He had a monster game yesterday against Edmonds Woodway. He went 3 for 4 with 2 RBIs, including the go-ahead RBI double that went past the third base line in the top of the 7th. That gave the Vikings an 8-7 lead and gave the Vikings the win after they trailed for most of the game. Theron Perkins originally was going to play third. He's moved to shortstop. And the first pitch by Tanaka, hard hit ball, foul along the third base line. Count starts at 0-1. In the infield for the Bellevue Wolverines, third base is Trenton Gertz. Shortstop is Connor Cirillo. Second baseman is Will Durrell, and the first baseman is Jackson Martinez. On the outfield, left field is Decker Meckham, center field Ryan Pennington, And right field is Jace Zimmerman with Thomas Bennett as the designated hitter for the pitcher, Braden Tanaka. Count is no balls and 1 strike. Looks over at first base and Aaron. And the 0-1 fly ball. That is a blooper that will land fair in left field. Delasco is going to score. It'll be an RBI bloop single by Theron Perkins. Lake Stevens starts off with a 1-0 lead. Aaron Lampinen will move to second. Here is Ethan Jansen. He hit the team's first home run yesterday in the top of the second inning. A 2-run home run over the left field wall at Edmonds Woodway High School that scored Caden Pattison from first base. First pitch, strike one looking. This one hitting the outside of the strike zone barely. And the 0-1. And the pitch will be low for a ball 1. And the reserves for the Lake Stevens Vikings: Trey Long, Colton Hogel, Alex Peterson. Count is even at 1-1. Swing and a miss, strike 2. And the other two, Bailey Corley and Xander Fogel, who was suited up for the Vikings for the first time since the first game of the season 6 days ago. The 1-2. A slow ground ball. That one going past the third base line. Count stays at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Bellevue Wolverines entering this game 1 win and 4 losses. Came off their first win of the season yesterday against Federal Way High School, shutting them out 5-0. Lake Stevens, they came off of a win yesterday again against the Edmonds Woodway Warriors. They were trailing 7-5 for a fair amount of the game before getting a run in the 5th inning and then scoring 2 in the 7th to take an 8-7 lead and win by that final score. The 1-2 by Tanaka inside. Count is even. And Bannerwood Park is also the home to a number of the postseason games in the inaugural West King tournament, where 5 Wesco teams and 7 Kingco 4A teams will play. This one a chopper going to the third baseman. Trent Gertz throws to first. That is not in time. Trent Gertz, he tried tagging Aaron Lampinen to no avail. Throws to first, not in time. It'll be an infield single for Jansen, and the bases are loaded for the center fielder, number 21, Cameron Austin. Cameron 3 for 10 on the year, 2 for 2 in stolen bases with 2 RBIs, 3 runs, walked twice, struck out once. First pitch, swing and a miss, strike 1. And in the tournament, there'll be 5 Wesco 4A teams and 7 Kingco 4A teams. They'll play in a double elimination tournament with 2 venues. The 0-1 outside, ball 1. In games where the Wesco 4A team would be the home team, it would be up north at Everett Memorial Stadium. If the Kingco 4A team is the home team, they'll be playing here at Bannerwood Park, which is already the home of the Kingco 3A tournament, the 1-1. Chopper, this one getting off the glove of Trent Gertz, who touches the third base bag. And that will be the second out of the top of the first. A run will score. It'll be an RBI fielder's choice. Both Cameron Austin and Theron Perkins slipping after sliding on the AstroTurf. The third baseman, Trent Gertz, got off his glove, was able to recover and tag Theron out. Aaron will score, and the score is now 2-0. First pitch to the starting pitcher, Devin McWaters, in ball 1. And Tanaka, the 1-0, outside, ball 2. And the pitch, strike 1 looking, count 2-1. That'll be Cameron Austin's third RBI. Theron, he had his team-high 6 RBI of the year off that single. The 2-1, inside, ball 3. Count is 3-1. Tanaka the pitch. That is a full count, 3-2. McWaters walking over the first, thinking that was a ball 4. Cameron Austin at first, Ethan Jansen at second base. Tanaka steps off of the rubber. And the payoff. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Tanaka gets McWaters swinging. And that will end the top of the first inning. It is 2 runs off of 4 hits, no errors, and 2 runners left on. Lake Stevens starts off with a 2-0 lead over the Bellevue Wolverines. McWaters will start off on the mound against shortstop Connor Cirillo, left fielder Decker Meckham, and the third baseman Trent Gertz. Currently Lake Stevens 2, Bellevue coming up in the bottom of the first inning here from Bannerwood Park. And we are now back in the bottom of the first inning. Bellevue looking to respond after Lake Stevens scores 2 runs in the top of the first inning. The starting pitcher for the Vikings, number 11, Devin McWaters. Currently no wins and no losses with an ERA of 6.67 in his second start. First pitch to the shortstop, Connor Cirillo, with strike 1 looking. First 3 batters for McWaters, it'll be shortstop Connor Cirillo, left fielder Decker Meckham, and the third baseman, number 20, Trent Gertz, the 0-1. Fly ball, that's be playable right near the fence, and it will go foul. It'll land right next to the Lake Stevens bleachers. Count is 0-2. Connor Cirillo, during the offseason, he committed to play for the University of Southern California to play baseball next year. And for McWaters, this is his second game and his second start. He threw 2 1/3 innings, allowing 2 hits, walking 3 batters, striking out 3 and allowing 2 earned runs and a no decision. The 0-2 pitch outside, ball 1, count is 1-2. And Devin, the windup in the 1-2. Strike 3 called. McWaters getting Cirillo looking for the first out. And now bring up the left fielder Decker Meckham, number 16. And Devin, the windup in the first pitch. And that will go inside. Almost hits Meckham. Starts off with a 1-0 count. The Bellevue Wolverines lineup, as told by manager Tate Seafried. The first 3 batters, Connor Cirillo, Decker Meckham, and Trent Gertz. The cleanup hitter is the catcher Wayman Whiting, the 1-0. Check swing, strike 1 looking. At the 5 spot is the center fielder Ryan Pennington. At the 6 spot is the second baseman Will Durrell. At the 7 spot is the first baseman Jackson Martinez. The 1-1 pitch by Devin. Strike 2. Count it 1-2 again. At the 8 spot is the designated hitter number 18, Thomas Bennett, who will be hitting for Braden Tanaka. And the 9th hitter is the right fielder number 8, Jace Zimmerman. 1-2. Upstairs, count is even. The reserves for the Wolverines, number 4, Hunter Hyatt, number 11, Cooper Benskin, number 17, Ryan Enger, number 27, Connor Angelo, and number 25, Owen Riles. The 2-2 pitch. Fly ball, this one going into center field, short center field. Cameron running for it. Making the catch is the center fielder Cameron Austin for the second out of the bottom of the first. And here is the third baseman, number 20, Trent Gertz. In the defensive positions for the Lake Stevens Vikings, as told by manager Josh White. On the mound is Devin McWaters, and behind the plate is Tommy Lindgren. At third base is Ethan Jansen. Second base is Hunter Zelasco. Shortstop is Theron Perkins. And at first base is Aaron Lampinen. First pitch from Devin. Inside, gets to the backstop past the catcher Tommy Lindgren. And on the outfield, left field is Tanner Lind. Center field, Cameron Austin. Right field, Caden Pattison. There is no designated hitter for the Vikings tonight. And the 1-0 pitch outside ball 2. Trent Gertz last season played in 15 games with a 188 average, scored 5 runs, hit 3 doubles, had 8 RBIs, walked 3 times, and struck out 5 times last season. And the 2-0 by Devin. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Last season, Bellevue, they finished their year with 9 wins and 10 losses, an even 7-7 record. Ironically enough, the same conference record Lake Stevens have, and ironically enough, the same placing, too, in the conference. They finished 5th place in the Kinko 3A, 2A conference. The 2-1. Check swing. Did he go? Yes, he did. Count is even. Tommy Lindgren asking for the home plate umpire to check down the first base line for the infield umpire. And the count now 2 balls and 2 strikes. Devin, the windup and the pitch. Check swing, foul ball, hits the fence right next to the on-deck circle for Lake Stevens. Count stays at 2-2. The Wolverines, they had their season end early in the first round of the Kinko 3A tournament by being shut out by the Redmond Mustangs 3-0. And they lost a number of players, too. Which included their only first-team player. The 2-2 pitch inside, full count, 3-2, which included their only Kinko 3A first-team player in utility player Ben Anger, who left the team as a senior. Payoff pitch. Ball 4 inside. Bellevue with their first base runner on a full count walk to Trent Gertz. Here is the starting catcher, Wayman Whiting. To keep this inning alive for Bellevue. And the 2 players on the second team was Al Aurelio, who previously wore number 14 before Braden Tanaka, and Ryan Pennington, who is currently playing at center field. And there was a number of honorable mention players as well. The first pitch, swing and a miss, strike 1. There were 2 seniors. It was Alex Carlisle at designated hitter and Nick Vitkovich as a pitcher, and then 2 underclassmen. And the 0-1 foul ball. Count is now 0-2. And there are 2 underclassmen, at the time underclassmen. One of them is Connor Cirillo, who is currently a senior as an infielder. And the final player was Trent Gertz, who is a junior now, but got an honorable mention for an infielder as a sophomore. As an 0-2 by Devin. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Tommy Lindgren picks up the baseball, throws to Theron at first. That is in time. And that'll be the end of the first inning. Devin McWaters with 2 strikeouts. No runs, no hits, no errors. 1 runner left on. Lake Stevens finishes an inning, leading 2-0. Braden Tanaka walking up to the mound. He'll face off against the 8-9-1 hitters, Caden Pattison, the right fielder, and Tommy Lindgren, the catcher, for the first time around. And then back to the top of the order with Tanner Lind. 2-0 Lake Stevens over Bellevue. And we are now back to the top of the second inning. Lake Stevens looking to extend their 2-0 lead over the Bellevue Wolverines, as they'll start off with Caden Pattison. First pitch, a ball 1 outside from Braden Tanaka. They'll face off against Caden Pattison, Tommy Lindgren, and then back to the top of the order for the second time around in Tanner Lind. The 1-0 by Tanaka, swung on, chopper. This one getting near the second base bag, fielded by the shortstop Cirillo, who throws to first. A nice running throw by Cirillo for the first out. And that'll bring up the catcher, Tommy Lindgren. Enters the game going 1-6 with a single, walked 2 times, struck out once. And Tanaka had a rough top of the first inning, 7 balls, 18 strikes for 25 pitches. The windup in the first pitch. Outside, strike 1 looking. And Braden getting the sign from Wayman Whiting, the catcher. You wind up in the first pitch. Ball one, count is even. And Bannerwood Park, not only is it home of the Seattle Redhawks, it's also a summer baseball hotspot. 1-1 outside. Ooh, strike two. Was caught a little bit outside there. Count is now 1 ball and 2 strikes. And the city of Bellevue realized that this field was being used a lot, so recently they renovated it to where the infield is AstroTurf and the outfield is all natural grass. The 1-2. Hard hit ball straight to the second baseman, Will Durrell, for the second out. And we now go to the top of the order for the second time around. Tanner Lindy struck out looking on 4 pitches. On a 1-2 count. And the windup in the first pitch. Line drive, ground ball. This one badly fielded by the second baseman Durrell as he was running towards short center field. There'll be an error on the second baseman as he tried to dive for it, but wasn't able to. Now bring up Zelasco, hit a 1-0 pitch over the head of the left fielder Decker Meckham into the warning track. And later scored on an RBI single by Theron. Throw to first, not in time. And the Seattle Redhawks, a member of the Western Athletic Conference. Next pitch, tries bunting for it. And the catcher, Wayman Whiting, bobbles the baseball. And Tanner Lind has a stolen base. His 6th of the year. Count starts at 1-0. And the 1-0 by Braden, and it will hit Hunter. And there'll be runners on first and second. It'll be the 3rd time this year that Hunter has been hit, and he'll have to walk to first. They'll now go to Aaron Lampinen, who hit the 1-0 pitch for a base hit and scored on an RBI fielder's choice by Cameron Austin. First pitch by Tanaka. Hard hit ball going to left field. That is foul. Going over the fence about 300 feet. Count starts at 0-1. Left field at 325 and right field at 325. Left center at 362. Around dead center field, 392. The 0-1. A foul ball. But then the throw is not in time to third to try and get Tanner. So Tanner will get a stolen base to third and will score on an error by the catcher, Wayman Whiting. The score is now 3-0 Lake Stevens. It was a swing and a miss, strike two. As the manager, Tate Seafried, is saying that was a foul ball. And after that, the catcher, Wayman Whiting, tried throwing it to Trent Gertz at third. Ball gets past him in the left field. Tanner scores, and Hunter would move to second on the stolen base. And the 0-2, ball one. So Tanner gets stolen base number 7 and will get in on another error. Count at 1 ball and 2 strikes. To Braden Tanaka low. Count is even at 2-2. Right center and left center at 362. A little deeper than that is 402 feet, and dead center's 392. And the 2-2 low, ball 3, a full count. And Bannerwood Park mainly home of the Seattle University Redhawks. Their baseball team last year, they did pretty decent. It was the home of former Lake Stevens baseball player Chase Ritter, who played here for a season. Payoff pitch. A slow grounder along the first base line, picked up by the first baseman, Jackson Martinez, who picks it up and will touch the first base bag for the end of the top of the second. It is no hits, 1 run, 2 errors, and 1 runner left on. Lake Stevens, they get another run on the board. It makes it 3-0 Lake Stevens. Devin McWaters walking up to the mound in the bottom of the second. He'll face off against Ryan Pennington, Will Durrell, and Jackson Martinez. And we are now back in the bottom of the second inning. Bellevue trying to get some momentum on the base pass and at the plate as they trail now 3-0 to Lake Stevens. Devin McWaters against center fielder Ryan Pennington inside for a ball 1. He'll face off against the 5, 6, and 7 hitters of Ryan Pennington, second baseman Will Durrell, and the first baseman Jackson Martinez. The 1-0 by Devin. Check swing, ball 2. Pennington last year, 14 games with a .342 batting average, 9 runs, 2 doubles, and 5 RBIs. 2-0. Inside, strike 1 looking. And the 2-1. Strike 2 looking. Count is even at 2-2. And the 2-2 outside, ball 3. Ball gets past the catcher, Tommy Lindgren. Devin had a pretty lengthy bottom of the first inning. 7 balls for 12 strikes, or a total of 19 pitches, but is better compared to Tanaka's first inning, where he had 7 balls for 18 strikes and once again 25 pitches. Full count, payoff pitch by Devin. Fly ball, this one going in the left field. Tanner, he is calling for it, and he makes the catch for the first out of the bottom of the second. Here is Will Durrell, the second baseman. From the research that I got out of last season's team, according to last year's stats, Will Durrell, he only played 1 game last season and went 0 for 1. It is unclear yet which game that was last season, although I'm unclear if it's relevant now. First pitch, strike 1 looking. And Devin stepping off the rubber. The Seattle Redhawks, last season, they were a threat to play in the NCAA regionals, which were to be aired on ESPN if they won the conference tournament. The 0-1. Low and outside for a ball 1. Count is even. And the Redhawks, they finished last season with a record of 34-23, which is not that bad. 1-1. Inside, ball 2. But everything drastically changes when you see their record as of this recording this season. The 2-1. Low, ball 3 from Devin to Will Durrell. Looking at the Redhawks 2019 season, their seasons, they started a month ago, and they currently have a 4-15 record. They finished all of last year with 23 losses. The 3-1. Inside, ball 4. Bellevue has a base runner off of another walk. They'll bring up Jackson Martinez, starting first baseman. Timeout by the Vikings. Tommy Lindgren walking up to the all-AstroTurf mound to talk to Devin. And the Seattle Redhawks are going to be playing here at Bannerwood starting this Friday, March 22nd. Against Utah Valley. Start a series then, March 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. Throw to first is not in time. Devin looking at Will Durrell at first base. First pitch, and a slow grounder to the shortstop who throws to second, throws to the first baseman. Is it in time? You bet it is. It's a 6-4-3 double play to end the bottom of the second inning. Theron to Hunter to Aaron. A 6-4-3 double play that will end a threat. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on. It is still a 3-0 Lake Stevens lead as they look to increase it in the top of the third. Braden Tanaka on the mound against the middle of the order. Theron Perkins, Ethan Jansen, and Cameron Austin. Again, 3-0 Lake Stevens. And we are now back in the top of the third inning. Lake Stevens, they lead Bellevue by the score of 3-0. Braden Tanaka on the mound once again against Theron Perkins, who hit an RBI single, later got out on a force out at third base. First pitch, hard hit ball, foul. Tanaka facing off against the shortstop Theron Perkins, third baseman Ethan Jansen, and the center fielder Cameron Austin, with two of those three guys getting RBIs in the top of the first. And Tanaka, the 0-1, will go inside for a ball one. Tanaka throwing 6 balls for 9 strikes in 15 pitches. A total of 13 balls, 27 strikes, and 40 pitches through 2 innings. Count is even at 1-1 the pitch. Check swing, ball 2. Count is 2-1. Tanaka getting the sign from Whiting, 2-1. And a foul ball hits the fence. Count is even. And while Seattle University right now, we're paying attention to their baseball program, many mainstream sports fans will probably know them for their basketball program. 2-2, fly ball going to the first baseman, Jackson Martinez, who takes a few steps back into short right field and will make the catch for the first out of the top of the third. Here is Ethan Jansen, who hit a single off a 2-2 pitch in the top of the first inning, was stranded at second base. And many mainstream sports fans will know Seattle University for their basketball team, and for a few reasons. Many of them we have to go back to the 1950s. First pitch, fly ball, that will land fair in the left field. And Ethan Jansen going 2 for 2 tonight with 2 singles. 1 out single by Jansen moves up Cameron Austin to the plate. And the umpire looking at the baseball that Braden Tanaka's holding. Really interesting. And Cameron Austin, center fielder, hit an RBI fielder's choice. It got off the glove of the third baseman, Trent Gertz, who was able to get the ball and get Theron out at third as it was bases loaded. First pitch, low in the dirt, ball 1. And Seattle U, they first got attention with their basketball team in 1952 when they beat the world-famous Harlem Globetrotters. 1-0. Swing and a miss, strike 1, count is even. I mean, it's hard to believe now that anyone would beat the Harlem Globetrotters. I mean, they're basically a sideshow for kids, but during that time, in the 1950s, when they were gaining some attention, they were playing legit competition, and Seattle U was the first team to beat them. And this one, ball gets away from the catcher, Whiting. Count is 2-1. Ethan Jansen going to second on the wild pitch. Count is now 2-1. And it was during that decade where Seattle U rose to prominence, especially with a number of basketball players going into the NBA. There was, at one point, Seattle University was the school that had the most players going to the NBA. That's hard to believe now because of the level of play that they're in, but they were the best of the best. They had a guy who would play for the LA Lakers and would go to the Hall of Fame, a guy named Elgin Baylor, the 2-1. Outside, strike 2 looking, count is 2-2. Vikings with another run in scoring position. And with the help of Baylor and a number of future NBA players, they ended up going to the NCAA championship. 2-2. Low, full count, ball 3. And they went to the championship game. They played Adolph Rupp and the Kentucky Wildcats. That name sounds familiar. That's because that's the name of the arena that Kentucky plays in, Rupp Arena. And Kentucky would win by the final score of 84-75. Payoff. Strike 3 called. And Cameron Austin switching his direction from straight to first base to straight to the dugout on that one. And that'll be the third strikeout of the night for the freshman. Brings up Devin McWaters, the other strikeout victim. Struck out swinging in the top of the first. First pitch, outside, ball 1. Whiting looking at second. And a 1-0 foul ball. That one going to the fence, count is even. And currently the men's basketball team is playing. Ball gets away from the catcher. Whiting again throws. The third is not in time. Another wild pitch. Ethan Jansen goes to third. Count is 2-1. And the 2-1 pitch, a strike 2 looking, count is even. Men's basketball team now playing in the CIT, the College Insider Postseason Tournament, finishing 18-14. They had a pretty decent season. They did. A timeout by Devin, as they'll be starting CIT play against Presbyterian. That'll be tomorrow night at 10 p.m. And the 2-2 pitch, strike 3 called. Braden Tanaka striking out Devin McWaters again. Strikeout number 4 on the night. That'll end the top of the third. It is no runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 runner left on. And the score stays at 3-0. Devin walking up to the mound again. In the bottom of the third, facing off against the 8-9-1 hitters of Thomas Bennett, Jace Zimmerman, and Connor Cirillo. Once again, it is 3-0 Lake Stevens as we go into the bottom of the third inning. And we are now back into the bottom of the third inning. Bellevue bringing up the designated hitter Thomas Bennett as the Wolverines trail 3-0 to the Lake Stevens Vikings. First pitch of ball 1 from the pitcher Devin McWaters will face off against the 8-9-1 hitters designated hitter Thomas Bennett, who is hitting for the pitcher Braden Tanaka. 1-0 inside, ball 2. The right fielder number 8 Jace Zimmerman, and then back up to the order for the second time around against the shortstop Connor Cirillo. And the 2-0 windup by Devin. Ball 3 in the dirt outside to the catcher Thomas Lindgren. And Devin, the 3-0. Strike 1 right down the middle. Devin throwing a fair amount of pitches per at-bat. The 3-1, a short fly ball going straight to the pitcher McWaters as he goes behind the mound to catch it. That'll be the first out of the bottom of the third. Here is Jace Zimmerman. Devin McWaters, throughout this entire game, pitching himself down to a full count or close to that. Through a majority of the batters in this game. First pitch by Devin. And a ball, no strike, a late call by the home plate umpire. And the count will start at 0-1. Devin threw 7 balls for 5 strikes and 12 pitches, was saved by the 6-4-3 double play by the Lake Stevens infield. The 0-1 upstairs, ball 1, count is even. So through 2 innings, he has thrown a total of 14 balls for 17 strikes and 31 pitches. And Devin, the 1-1, the windup. Swing and a miss, strike 2. He gets Jace Zimmerman swinging. And while Lake Stevens, right next to their dugout along the first base line, they have an open bullpen. Bellevue, because they're the home team, they have a covered bullpen combined with some batting cages. The 1-2 pitch upstairs, ball 2. As there is a pitcher in the Bellevue bullpen. 2-2. And a foul ball goes over the fence, over the Bellevue bleachers. Count is once again 2 balls and 2 strikes. Devin getting the sign from the catcher, Tommy Lindgren. And the windup and the pitch. And outside, full count. The manager, Josh White, he can be a little more lenient with the pitch counts as he has been in past games, because the next game for the Lake Stevens Vikings will be in 2 days. They'll be playing at home for the 2nd time this year against the Meadowdale Mavericks, and then we'll take a 6-day break. Payoff upstairs, ball 4, and the 3rd walk for the Bellevue Wolverines. This one to Jace Zimmerman. As we go to the top of the order, to the shortstop, Connor Cirillo. He struck out looking on a 1-2 pitch from Devin to start off the bottom of the 1st. And the first pitch is a ball 1. And the 1-0, ball 2. And for Bellevue, their next game is going to be on the road down in Vancouver. They're going to play against Mountain View High School. Had a pretty good run in the football 3A state tournament for the semifinals. 2-0, foul ball. It's the fence, count is 2-1. So after this game, Bellevue, they'll be playing 2 games down in Vancouver. First one against Mountain View on Friday the 22nd. The 2-1 fly ball, is that playable? And that one, it is not playable, it is foul. Looked like it was going to land behind home plate in this covered area that I was going to be in. Count is even, 2-2. Outside, ball 3. Nice stop by the catcher, Tommy Lindgren, to make the count full. Wolverines are going to play a game on Friday the 22nd at Vancouver against Mountain View, and then play a game on March 23rd at Battleground before starting conference play against Sammamish. And the payoff pitch. Strike 3 called. Throw to second is not in time, as Jace Zimmerman gets a stolen base, and Cirillo strikes out again. It'll be the 2nd out of the bottom of the 3rd. Bellevue with a runner in scoring position for the first time all night. Now the home plate umpire is getting a word from the 3rd base coach from Bellevue, saying it's the home plate umpire who's talking to a player, and the 3rd base coach now talking with the home plate umpire. He's talking about what happened. It's really hard to tell from here. It was Sounds like something that Connor Cirillo did while he was throwing. I think he was signaling that he was safe, and the umpire didn't like that. And the third base coach went straight to the home plate umpires like, don't tell that to them, tell that to me. Clear as day here in the dead of night. And it will end in no ejections, as the home plate umpire was calling the third base coach back. Hard to tell. Pretty sure that was the manager, Tate Seafried, on the third base side. And so there'll be a pinch hitter for Bellevue. That'll be number 4, Hunter Hyatt. He'll be hitting for Decker Meckham. A pinch hitter early in this game. It's very interesting. He'll also be playing in left field, I assume. First pitch. Strike one looking. Jace Zimmerman at second base. Devin looking at second, wind up 0-1. Outside, ball one. Nice stop by the catcher, Tommy Lindgren. Keeps Zimmerman at second base. And Devin, once again, working himself to a full count or close to it. In this inning alone, the counts ended with a 3-1, 3-2, 3-2. Line drive shot hits the roof of the bullpen right next to the Bellevue dugout. There's a red cover, or a red top on the bullpen, and it right on the side of it. Count is 1-2. Devin, 1 ball, 2 strikes. The pitch. That is a ball 2, count is even. And Lake Stevens, unlike Bellevue, who has 2 non-conference games left, the Vikings have 1 game left before they start conference play next Wednesday on the road against Jackson. They'll start Wesco conference play. Count is even at 2-2. The pitch. Check swing. Ball 3. Third consecutive full count in this inning. It is the 5th full count that Devin has thrown himself into in 2 2/3 innings. And the payoff. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Strikeout number 4 for Devin McWaters through 3. No runs on no hits, no errors, and 1 guy left on at the end of 3. It is still a 3-0 Lake Stevens lead. As the pitcher that's in the Bellevue bullpen walking out. And we'll be going straight to the mound. It'll be number 16, Decker Meckham, who will be on the mound for Braden Tanaka, while Hunter Hyatt will play at left field. We'll take a quick break at the top of the 4th. Meckham will face off against Caden Pattison, Tommy Lindgren, and Tanner Lind, the 8-9 and leadoff hitters. We're going to the top of the 4th. Still a 3-0 Lake Stevens lead over the Bellevue Wolverines. And we are now back into the top of the 4th inning. Bellevue bringing in a new pitcher in number 16, Decker Meckham, the starting left fielder. Playing for him will be number 4, Hunter Hyatt, as his first batter will be Caden Pattison. Tries bunting for it. That is a strike. He went. Pattison 0 for 1 with a fly out to the shortstop, Connor Cirillo. Tanaka finishing his night. 3 innings, 57 pitches, 5 hits, 2 earned runs out of 3, no walks and 4 strikeouts. Hit a batter and threw 2 wild pitches. And the 0-1. Hard hit, line shot over the Bellevue bullpen along the third base line right next to our dugout. Count is no balls, 2 strikes. And Meckham straight to the second baseman, who throws it to Jackson Martinez for out number 1. Second baseman Will Durrell for the first out. Now we go to Tommy Lindgren, who popped out to Durrell on a 1-2 pitch in the top of the second inning. And Meckham, hard hit shot. This one going in the left center. That is going to fall in no man's land in the left center field. Tommy Lindgren with a 1-out single in the top of the 4th inning. And pinch running for Tommy Lindgren will be number 5, Trey Long. As we go back to the top of the order for the 3rd time around, in Tanner Lind, 0 for 1 with a strikeout, 2 stolen bases, and a run scored in 2 plate appearances. And Meckham, swing and a miss, strike 1. And the 0-1. Strike 2 looking. Slow curveball. It's the outside corner of the strike zone. And the 0-2 by Meckham. Upstairs, ball 1. Wayman Whiting looking at Trey at first. Devin McWaters warming up a little bit in the bullpen to get himself ready for the next inning. 1-2 outside. Count is even. Whiting was in position to throw, but stays in place. And Trey. And that'll be a ball. Trey going to second. It'll be not in time. Trey got a little bit of a jump there, and he didn't even know it. And then he found out that the catcher didn't even know it. And Wayman Whiting was a second too late in trying to do something about it. So Trey's got himself a stolen base. Count is full. My mistake, the count now is full as a ball. Payoff. Ball 4. And Trey will go to third safely off of another stolen base. Tanner just realizing that was ball 4 as he was getting ready to swing. There are now runners in the corners. Hunter Zelasco got hit a double in the first inning and scored, and then got hit in the arm in the second inning, and then later got a stolen base. And Trey now with stolen bases number 3 and 4 on the season. And Hunter, first pitch. Low in the dirt, ball 1. Whiting able to get that ball in time. And the 1-0. That is a ball. Throw to second is not in time to get Tanner. He slides in safely. And Tanner Lind has his third stolen base of the night. His stolen base number 7 on the season. Count now 2 balls and no strikes. And the 2-0 inside. Ball 3. No activity in the Bellevue bullpen. Well, it looks like Tate Seafried is going to rely on Meckham, at least for this inning. 3-0. Ball 4. Bases are loaded again. First time since the top of the first inning. And now bring up Aaron Lampinen, who was 1 for 2 with a single in the first inning. He has a chance to knock in some runners. Trey's at third. Tanner is at second. Hunter is at first. For Aaron Lampinen. Decker Meckham. Getting the sign from Wayman Whiting. First pitch. Outside, ball 1. And the 1-0. Outside, ball 2, Whiting. Sliding into the other batter's box to get that one. Count is 2-0. And speaking of upcoming baseball games, the Seattle Mariners tomorrow morning at 2:35 will start their season against Oakland in Tokyo, Japan. Timeout by Bellevue. Tate Seafried and the catcher Wayman Whiting walking up to the mound. It is amazing looking at what the Seattle Mariners are doing right now. Not only do they have a bunch of young additions to try and even out the people that left, but also the activities that they get to do before the season started. About a week ago, they traveled up to Japan. They played a couple exhibition games against the Yomiuri Giants. I remember looking at updates on the way home from the Central Kitsap game, and those were fun to look at. But at the same time, I had to recognize that it was 8 p.m. When it was like noon Sunday over there, and it was 8 p.m. Saturday here when that happened. And I could not listen to it on the radio or TV. So first off, that it was a bummer. But, fortunately, Seattle did win both those games. And fortunately, in this instance, that the Mariners are going to be playing on the radio and TV. And I'm happy it's going to be re-recorded to a later time, probably in the morning, but I don't care. I'm recording it when it happens. The 2-0 inside. Strike 1. A close pitch. Aaron had to move away from that one. And it'll be for the Mariners, Marco Gonzalez. That is a balk by the pitcher, Decker Meckham. Trey is going to score. Tanner's going to third. Hunter's going to second. Sounds all too familiar. The third run this year that is scored on a balk. The first time in a couple of games. Tanner's now at third. Hunter's now at second. 2-1. Hard hit line shot. Gets into the hole in left field. Looked like it was going to be caught by Trent Gertz, but he backs out of it. It'll be an RBI single by Aaron Lampinen. And the score is now 5-0. Lake Stevens, Tanner scoring 2 runs tonight. Zalasko going to third. And now bring up Theron Perkins, 1 for 2 with an RBI single of his own back in the top of the first. And Meckham, the first pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 1. So not a really good outing so far for Decker Meckham. He has allowed 2 hits. He has walked 2 batters. 3 stolen bases. Has been a lot off of him. And he committed a balk with the bases loaded. That allowed a run to score. It made it 4-0, and then the next pitch, an RBI single in the left field by Aaron that made it 5-0. The 0-1. Upstairs. Throw to second. Wayman Whiting, he hesitates before even throwing to second. He would have had a chance if he just released the ball. And it'll be a stolen base for Lampinen. And once again, there's runners on second and third. And the 1-1. Low, ball 2. Ball gets away from Whiting. But the runners will stay 2-1. And the 2-1. Strike 2 looking. Count is even again. So the Mariners will play 2 games in Tokyo. Then we'll come back here for the Mariners Fan Fest. 2-2 upstairs, ball 3. Count is full at 3-2. They'll come here for the Mariners Fan Fest. And then the next day after the 23rd, no, the 24th, my mistake, they'll play 2 exhibition games at T-Mobile Park against the San Diego Padres. Payoff pitch, ball 4. The inning will continue. Bases loaded again, a full count walk by Theron Perkins. Here is Ethan Jansen. He is 2 for 2 with 2 singles. And we now know that he has some power in him after seeing that he hit a 2-run home run yesterday over left field. And Meckham, first pitch, ball 1. And the 1-0 outside, ball 2. And the 2-0, fly ball, foul. Count at 2-1. Bannerwood Park right next to a number of residential areas. You can see some windows with the lights on in right field past a hill and a street. And the 2-1, ball 3. Count now 3 balls and 1 strike with the bases loaded. Hunter Zelasco at third, Aaron Lampinen at second, Theron Perkins at first. Decker Meckham payoff. Not payoff. 3-1 count. Now it's a full count as Ethan Jansen was walking over the first, thinking that was a ball 4. And now the payoff. Fly ball. A towering fly ball over the Bellevue bullpen. Count stays full. Base was loaded, up 5-0 payoff. Check swing. Strike 3 called. And the first strikeout for Decker Meckham. Here is Cameron Austin. Hit an RBI fielder's choice in the first inning and struck out looking back in the top of the 3rd. And Meckham tries bunting for it. That one goes to the pitcher. A nice snag. Throws to the home plate for a fielder's choice. It is on time. And that will end the top of the 4th inning. 2 runs on 2 hits. No errors and 3 runners left on. The Vikings get 2 more on the board. They now lead by the score of 5-0. Devin McWaters back on the mound in the bottom of the 4th. He'll face off against Trent Gertz, Wayman Whiting, and Ryan Pettington as the Vikings increase their lead by 2 runs. And we are now back into the bottom of the 4th inning. Lake Stevens, they increase their lead over the Bellevue Wolverines by the score of 5-0. Devin McWaters back on the mound, facing off against the number 3 hitter Trent Gertz. First pitch. Fly ball, that one going in the right field to the right fielder Caden Pattison. First pitch, first outs. Bottom of the 4th. Here is Wayman Whiting. Struck out swinging on an 0-2 pitch to end the first inning. Devin, he threw 13 balls for 11 strikes in 24 pitches. A total of 27 balls, 28 strikes in 55 pitches. That was pitch number 56. Here is 57. First pitch. Inside, ball 1. And the windup, Devin, inside. That will hit Wayman as he tosses his bat past the on-deck hitter and towards the Bellevue dugout almost aggressively. And it'll be a pinch runner for the catcher. That will be number 11, Cooper Benskin. As Bellevue gets another base runner, here's Ryan Pennington, the starting center fielder. Hit a payoff pitch to the left fielder Tanner Lind to start the bottom of the second inning. See, when this stretch of games started, Josh White really had to pay attention to how many pitches that his pitchers were throwing. I think the max that I saw was around 50 some odd pitches. None of them went over 60. There was a lot in the 40s. There was a lot in the 20s. First pitch, ball one. But this is the first time since the first or second game of the season, definitely the first game of the season, where a pitcher for the Vikings has thrown this many pitches. And because of the schedule that the Vikings have and the amount of days off that they have, he doesn't really have to worry about that anymore. Devin looks at Benskin at first base, doesn't throw. And the 1-0. And this will hit Pennington. It'll be two straight hit batters. And Bellevue now has multiple base runners on for the first time tonight. And the Vikings are going to bring in a new pitcher already. And that will be Cameron Austin. We're going to take a quick break here, bottom of the fourth inning. Lake Stevens leading Bellevue 5-0. They have a runner on first and second with one out. Cameron Austin, number 21, coming in from center field, will play on the mound. Will face off against Will Durrell as his first batter. And we are now back in the bottom of the fourth inning. Lake Stevens, they still lead the Bellevue Wolverines by the score of 5-0. A new pitcher for the Vikings in number 21, Cameron Austin. First pitch outside for a ball one. McWaters finishing 3 1/3, 60 pitches, no hits. Currently no earned runs, although that may change here. 3 walks, 4 strikeouts, and 2 hit batters. Currently online for the first win of the season for him. The 1-0. Low ball 2. McWaters will be playing in center field for Austin. They will switch positions. Here is Will Durrell. And Austin looking at second. Wind up. And strike one looking. And the 2-1 pitch low for a ball 3. And a timeout by Will Durrell. Lake Stevens, Cameron Austin will be facing off against Will Durrell, Jackson Martinez, and possibly Thomas Bennett in this inning. If not eventually. The 3-1 runner goes. Throw to third. Is it in time? No, it gets into left field. And Wayman Whiting, no. Benskin will score. The count is now full. Throw to third is offline, as there'll be a stolen base for Benskin. And the error on the catcher, Tommy Lindgren, will score Bellevue's first run. As there'll be a stolen base by Pennington, too, as the error will move him to third base. Payoff. Pitch coming up. Bellevue scoring the first run of the game, and making the score 5-1. Xander Fogle warming up in the bullpen for the Vikings. Payoff pitch by Cameron. And that is a ball 4. Runners are on the corners for Jackson Martinez. Martinez, he hit into a 6-4-3 double play in the bottom of the second inning. It looks in position to do the same here as Will Durrell is at first base. First pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Cameron, the 0-1. Fly ball, that goes into left center field. High into the night, called by the shortstop, Theron Perkins. Yes, Theron Perkins is his first time at shortstop. It keeps the runners on the corners for the second out, keeps Pennington at third, and keeps Durrell at first. Here is Thomas Bennett. He popped out to the pitcher McWaters in a 3-1 count. He caught it behind the mound in the infield. So McWaters will have an unearned run to his name. First pitch outside, ball 1. Count is 1-0. Cameron. Timeout by Bennett. Next 3 batters in the top of the 5th. It'll be Devin, Caden, and Tommy. Devin McWaters, Caden Pattison, and Tommy Lindgren. The 1-0 upstairs, ball 2. And the 2-0 outside, ball 3. Pennington at third, Durrell at first. Austin, the 3-0 pitch to Bennett. Strike 1 looking. And the 3-1 foul ball. As Durrell was running for second, he got a jump on it. And the count is now full. Bellevue, last season, adding to their overall 9-10 record, they finished at home with a 3-6 record. They played 9 of their 19 games at home, and they went 3-6. This is considered a home game, even though it will be the final game for both teams at Bannerwood Park until the postseason. Assuming that both teams go into the postseason. The payoff, foul ball. Thomas Bennett keeping the at-bat alive. Count is still full. Cameron Austin payoff. Check swing. Ball 4 goes outside. And that'll bring up the number 9 hitter, Jace Zimmerman. Bases are loaded now. Jace, he was walked in a full count, got a stolen base to second, and then was stranded there. And the first pitch by Cameron. Strike 1 looking. And Cameron starting off the 0-1. Check swing. As a ball. Count is now even at 1-1. Let's take a look. In addition to Lake Stevens playing Edmonds Woodway, there were 2 other games that were played. Mount Monroe playing at Mount Lake Terrace, winning 6-3. And Mariner staying winless. They lose 4-1 to Linwood. The 1-1. And a strike 2. Nice curveball by Cameron. And today there was a number of games that have played, but because this game has a final, games will possibly be final. And the 1-2 ball. The count is even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. The first game update that we can get is Cascade playing against Archbishop Murphy, with Archbishop Murphy winning by the score of 9-1. The 2-2 by Cameron. Fly ball, foul. Jackson playing at Meadowdale, with the Timberwolves beating Meadowdale by that same score of 9-1. Count is still 2-2. The windup by Cameron. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Cameron Austin getting out of a bases loaded jam in the bottom of the 4th with his first strikeout. 1 run on no hits, 1 error, and 3 runners left on. Bellevue, they get a run on the board, but it is not enough. They trail by the score of 5-1. There'll be a new pitcher for Bellevue in number 17, Ryan Anger. Pitch the top of the 5th against Devin McWaters, Caden Pattison, and Tommy Lindgren. Score is now 5-1. Lake Stevens over Bellevue. And we are now back into the top of the 5th inning. Lake Stevens, they lead Bellevue 5-1, while the Wolverines, they have a new pitcher in number 17, Ryan Anger. First pitch to Devin McWaters inside. Ball 1. Almost hits Devin. Anger, his first 3 batters. Devin McWaters, Caden Pattison, and Tommy Lindgren. Last season, he only pitched in 2 games last year. There's strike 1 looking. Count is even at 1-1. He pitched in 2 games or in 2 innings, allowing no earned runs, 1 walk, 2 hits, and no strikeouts. If you ask me, that's very eventful of last season. And that one, a pitch that was just a bit outside as it hit the backstop. Count is 2 balls and 1 strike. No, I'm just kidding. Anger lost the grip of the ball, and it went like 5 feet away from the other batter's box. And now this one's behind McWaters. He basically threw the same pitch, except it went in the other direction, behind the left-handed hitter McWaters. And the count is 3-1. And now it is ball 4. Anger, he needs to find his grip. Those last 3 pitches, they were just abysmal to watch. He lost the grip of the baseball on a 1-1 count, and it went straight right in front of the Bellevue bleachers, and then he lost the grip on the ball in the last 2 pitches, and they both went behind Devin McWaters. So now pinch hitting for Caden Pattison will be number 22, Alex Peterson. Who got a no decision yesterday on the mound as a starter. First pitch, swing, and a miss, strike 1. We also got some other updates as well from Wesco 4A teams, in addition to Jackson and Cascade. The 0-1. Did it go? Strike 2. An 0-2 count. In 2 other games, Glacier Peak, they played at Shorewood and beat them 6-5. And Mount Vernon beating Ferndale at home by, ironically enough, another 9-1 score. The 0-1. Ball, throw to second. Is it in time? Yes, it is. It gets Devin at second. Wayman Whiting throws out Devin McWaters at second base by a half second. Count is 1-2. So Meckham throwing an inning and 32 pitches. And the 1-2 pitch, a strike 3 called. And in 2 pitches, there's 2 outs. And it brings up the 9-hitter Tommy Lindgren. So Meckham, an inning, 32 pitches, 2 hits, 2 earned runs, 3 walks, and 1 strikeout, and 1 balk. As of right now, leaving with a no decision. First pitch, a line shot over the head of the second baseman. And Tommy Lindgren now 2 for 3 in tonight's game. And will he be taken over by a pinch runner? Yes, he will. Trey will take him over again on the base paths. And I'll bring up Tanner Lind for the 4th time around. Still 0 for 1 in 3 plate appearances with 2 runs scored in the 2 unofficial plate appearances. First pitch. Inside. Does that hit Tanner? No, it does not. But Trey will move to second on the wild pitch. There's a bunch of pitches thrown for Lake Stevens by Devon and by Bellevue, basically by every pitcher, where it looked like it would hit the batter. Looks over at second, wind up in the 1-0. And a strike 1 looking. And Anger on or at the plate. He played in 9 games. He's getting 2 runs and 2 RBIs. He won 1 outside, ball 2. Trey shuffling. 2-1, foul ball, count is even. And some of the other games that we do not have any updates on yet. Mariner at Cedar Crest and Kamiak at Shorecrest. There's going to be a couple games on Wednesday, March 20th. Shorecrest at Mariner, Mount Vernon at Cedro Woolley. The 2-2. Inside, that will hit Tanner. On the foot and will bounce towards the Bellevue dugout. There will be runners on first and second for Hunters Alasko. And a timeout by Bellevue. As Hunters Alaska will walk up to the plate. And the next game for the Lake Stevens Vikings will be playing on Thursday, March 21st. In their first home game since last Friday, we'll be playing against the Meadowdale Mavericks from the Wesco 3A South Division. The Bellevue Wolverines, their next game will be on March 22nd. They'll be playing 2 consecutive games in 2 days down in Vancouver. First game is against Mountain View, and the next game will be on the 23rd at Battleground before they start conference play in the Kingco 3A, 2A division. The catcher, Wayman Whiting, going back behind the plate. And Hunters Alasko ready to go. He hits a double in the first inning, got hit in the second, and was walked in the fourth and got out on a fielder's choice at home. First pitch is a ball 1. So the 2 games on Wednesday. They'll get updates on that from the Meadowdale game. And there will be 2 games on Thursday, one of them being the Meadowdale game. The second will be Kamiak at Shorewood, playing at Meridian Park Fields. And on Friday, there's going to be 4 games. It'll be Jackson at Mountain Lake Terrace, Meadowdale at Cascade, Monroe at Shorecrest, and Kamiak at Linwood. And this will hit Hunter for a second time. Second consecutive hit batter for Ryan Anger. And it'll be the second time tonight that Hunter has been hit. And the bases are loaded again for Aaron Lampinen. 2 for 3 with 2 singles, a stolen base, a run, and an RBI. And Lake Stevens is threatening to get some more runs on the board. First pitch by Anger. Strike 1 looking. And on Saturday, there's going to be 2 games. One at 11 in the morning, Kentwood at Glacier Peak. And one at 1 p.m. That is Edmonds Woodway at Jackson at Everett Memorial. And ball 1. This one going to the other batter's box, stopped by Wayman Whiting. Trey at third, Tanner at second, Hunter at first. Very similar to what happened in the top of the fourth. The 1-1. Swing and a miss, strike two. And Anger, the 1-2. In the dirt, ball to the rolls. Back towards the mound. And once again, Bannerwood Park, the site for this game, is also going to be one of two venues that's going to host the 2019 West King Tournament. This one going behind the batter again. First time against Lampeton. Count is full, 3-2. As the other venue will be Everett Memorial Stadium, as the conferences will combine. Fly ball, that's playable. This one staying right near the foul line and foul territory is caught by the first baseman, Jackson Martinez. That will end the top of the fifth. No runs on one hit, no errors, and 3 runners left on, so a 5-1 game. As Cameron Austin will walk back up to the mound in the bottom of the fifth. He'll face off against the top 3 hitters, Connor Cirillo. As of right now, Hunter Hyatt, unless Decker Meckham returns to the game, and Trent Gertz for the 1-2-3. Actually, my mistake, Meckham probably has returned to left field after he was taken over at the mound. But regardless, the score is still 5-1. Lake Stevens over Bellevue as we go into the bottom of the 5th inning. And we are now back to the bottom of the 5th inning. Bellevue going back to the top of the lineup for the 3rd time around as they trail by 4. Connor Cirillo against Cameron Austin. First pitch, ball 1. Cirillo, he has struck out twice looking against Devin McWaters. It'll be the first time against Cameron. As for Austin, he'll face off against Cirillo. Hunter Hyatt. No, my mistake, not Hunter Hyatt. It will be number 17, Ryan Enger. Count is 2-0, pitch by Austin. Low ball 3, so it'll be Ryan Enger now, who will pinch hit at the 2 spot for Decker Meckham, and then Trent Gertz, the 3rd baseman. Timeout by Lake Stevens. Bellevue, they're getting gradually better with every inning. Starting in the 2nd inning, got a guy at first, but they got out on a double play. 3rd inning, they got another guy on base on a walk, but at least he stayed there. And then the 4th inning, they dealt some damage with a run to get them on the board. Count is 3 balls and no strikes. Cameron Austin against Connor Cirillo. And the windup. Strike 1 looking. Xander Fogel once again warming up with Trey Long in the bullpen. And the windup, 3-1 to Cameron. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Count is now full. 2nd consecutive full count for Connor Cirillo. Struck out looking in the last time. Getting the sign from Tommy Lindgren. Wind up in the payoff. Pitch. Fly ball out foul. Count still full. Payoff, Cameron. Fly ball, left field, deep. It's definitely gone. The problem is that's foul. That's foul. Goes over the wall, past the 3rd base line. Count is still full. He definitely had the power and the distance, just couldn't keep it fair. Payoff. Outside, ball 4. And Bellevue, first time they got the leadoff runner on base. Now here is number 17, Ryan Enger, who is on the mound. for the Wolverines in the top of the 5th. And Cameron, first pitch. Fly ball, that is leaning foul, but the right fielder, Caden Patterson, still running after it. And it will drop. Count started 0-1. Cameron. And a strike 2 looking. Nice pitch on the outside corner to Anger. And the 0-2, this one going to Theron. Throw to second for 1, and they're able to only get the guy at second. Yeah, Connor Cirillo is 6-4. Theron throwing to Hunter Zelasco. It'll be a fielder's choice. There'll still be a runner at first. And it'll be 1 out. Here is Trent Gertz. 0 for 1 with a walk in the first inning. Flew out to the right fielder. At the time, it was Caden Patterson in the bottom of the 4th. And the first pitch by Cameron. Ground ball. This one getting into the hole in right. Off of the glove of the second baseman. And it'll be a 1-out single. Bellevue has runners on first and second. Gets off of the glove of the second baseman, Hunter Zelasco, as he hesitated for a quick second before diving and was about a step away from getting the ball in the glove and throwing the first. Now here is Wayman Whiting. He has scored the lone run for the Wolverines in this game. First pitch. Strike 1 looking. Struck out swinging in the bottom of the first on an 0-2 pitch and then got hit by Devin, the first of back-to-back hit batters for Devin. He also hit Ryan Pennington, both on a 1-0 count before Josh White took him out for Cameron Austin. Pitch, hard hit ball. This one getting into the hole in left field. Ryan Anger will be riding around third. It'll be an RBI single by Wayman Whiting. Throw to second. No throw to second as the throw will be offline to the catcher. It'll be an RBI single. After the errant throw, Ryan Anger will score. Trent Gertz will go to third. It'll count as an RBI single. Scores now 5-2, Lake Stevens. And now here is Ryan Pennington. First pitch. Foul ball, it's the fence. It hits the fence towards the Lake Stevens bleachers. Count starts at 0-1. And the windup in the 0-1. A nice pitch, but it'll be an even count, ball 1. And the 1-1. Swing and a miss, strike 2. And Cameron now getting ahead of his numerical counterpart, Ryan Pennington. Wind up in the 1-2 pitch. Outside, ball 2. Game-tying run at home plate in Ryan Pennington. And the 2-2. Chopper. This one foul. Count will stay even. Lake Stevens wearing black on black for the first time since the first game of the season against Snohomish. And in that game, they had pretty good success, winning the game 12-3 after it was close for most of it. Wind up in the 2-2. Fly ball, this one going into center field. And McWaters making the catch. It'll be a sacrifice fly by Ryan Pennington. They'll go for the second out. Now the score is 5-3. Trent Gertz will score from third. And Wayman Whiting will go to third base. Now here is Will Durrell. He was walked on both of his plate appearances. And the home plate umpire then signifying that Wayman Whiting is safe at third. So there'll be a runner at third base with 2 outs. Durrell has been walked in both plate appearances in the bottom of the second inning on a 3-1 count, and then got out on a 6-4-3 double play. And then the fourth inning, he was walked, but then was stranded on base. First pitch of ball 1. And the 1-0. Hard hit ball. This one going to Theron. Nice backhand snag. Drops the ball. Throws to first. Is it in time? No, it is not. Gets off of the glove of the first baseman. It'll be an error on the shortstop. The score is now 5-4. And now here is Jackson Martinez, who is 0 for 2. Game-tying run is at first base in Will Durrell. The game-leading run is at home plate in Jackson Martinez. Cameron Austin taking a quick peek at first. First pitch. Strike 1 looking. And the 0-1 upstairs, ball 1. Will Durrell taking a couple steps off of the first base bag. And the runner goes 1-1. Foul ball. Count is at 1-2. Durrell already 3/4 of the way to second base before Martinez swung the baseball, or swung to the baseball, swung the bat. And the count now 1-2. Cameron with a chance to get out of the inning with one more pitch. Timeout by Jackson. Lake Stevens bringing in their middle of the order in the top of the 6th. Theron, Ethan, and Cameron against possibly Ryan Enger, unless Tate Seafree brought in a new pitcher. 1-2. Ground ball. This one going into the hole. It gets off of the second base bag as the shortstop Theron Perkins tried to field it. Bounces off of the bag, goes towards left field. Bellevue has runners on second and first for Thomas Bennett. Bellevue getting a couple lucky breaks here in this inning that ended in them now being trailed by 1, with ending in them trailing by 1 run. And the first pitch, swing and a miss, strike 1. Cameron getting the sign from the catcher, Tommy Lindgren. Looks over at second. And a foul ball. It's off of the umpire's mask. Count is now no balls, 2 strikes. Will Durrell, the game-tying run at second base. Jackson Martinez getting his first hit of the night. He is the game-leading run at first base. And some insurance currently at the plate for the designated hitter, Thomas Bennett. Austin. Wind up in the 0-2. Outside, ball one. Timeout by Bennett. Yeah, talking about Wesco 4A teams, there's a number of teams that have reacted a little differently than I thought they would. Cascade, they struggled a little bit, but they have the most. And the 1-2 pitch in the dirt. Lindgren to throw to second, not in time, as Alasko tried to tag Martinez. Now there's runners on second and third. Count is even at 2-2. And Cameron, the 2-2 pitch. Foul ball. Staying alive. Entering this week, Lake Stevenson Cascade, they were the only two teams that have more than one win in the conference. They both finished with a 2-1 record. Cascade, we now know, is 2-2, and Lake Stevens 3-1. 2-2 by Cameron. Swing and a miss, strike three. That ends the bottom of the fifth. Bellevue, they came crawling back, but they are just not there yet. They are now trailing by 1 run. It is 3 runs on 2 hits. 3 hits, my mistake. 2 errors and 2 runners left on. They now trail by the score of 5-4 as we go into the top of the 6th inning. Bellevue bringing in their 4th pitcher of the night in number 21, Ryan Pennington. Face off against the middle of the order, Theron Perkins, Ethan Jansen, and Cameron Austin. Score is now 5-4. Lake Stevens over Bellevue. We are now back into the top of the 6th inning. Lake Stevens, after leading Bellevue 5-0, they now lead the Wolverines 5-4 as they scored 3 runs in the bottom of the 5th. The new pitcher for the Bellevue Wolverines, number 21, Ryan Pennington. First pitch is a ball 1 to Theron Perkins. He is 1 for 2 with an RBI single. A pop up to the first baseman, Jackson Martinez, and a walk in the 4th. Next pitch, ball 2. Pennington will face off against Theron, Ethan Jansen, and Cameron Austin. And the 2-0. And a foul ball hits the fence. Count is now 2-1. And how the stadium is made up, you have the dugouts on each side of the line. You have a covered bullpen along the third base line right next to the dugout. You have a not covered bullpen. You have an open bullpen on the side. 2-1 pitch inside, ball 3, a 3-1 count. Behind home plate, you have in the AstroTurf the Seattle University Athletics logo. 3-1. Swing and a miss, strike 2, count is full. And then you have metal bleachers. You have one set right next to home dugout. You have one set right next the visiting dugout. They're identical. And then behind home plate, you have the main grandstands in which the seats look like you just glued. And then, is that a fair ball? Yes, it is. A payoff pitch. A fair ball past the third base line, goes all the way to the wall. Theron, is he going to go to third? He is not. And a hit very similar to the go-ahead double in the top of the 7th inning yesterday. He hits one past the third base line, past Trent Gertz. That one going all the way to the wall. And Theron Perkins gets a leadoff double to start the top of the 6th. And now Josh White, the manager, talking to the home plate umpire. And the ruling will stay that the ball stayed fair and that Theron Perkins starts off with a leadoff double. Huge in this instance. Now pinch hitting for Ethan Jansen, number 17, Colton Hogle, the winning pitcher in yesterday's game against Edmonds Woodway, moves them to 2-0 with an ERA of 0. First pitch, a check swing foul. And then back to the grandstands. The grandstands look like that the university got some metal. They got some metal bleachers, but that they glued on like mobile red seats onto it. It doesn't fit to me. The 0-1 bunts for it. That one going in the foul territory right in front of the Lake Stevens dugout. Counts now 0-2 as Colton tried to bunt Theron to third. But if Lake Stevens does somehow play in the tournament, in the West King tournament here at Bannerwood Park, we do got to get used to that. Seeing these grandstands. Pennington looking at second. It almost looked like he said something to Theron, and Theron is just like gesturally walking the second base. The 0-2, ball one. Nice pitch by Pennington, but it doesn't work. It is unclear who is the new center fielder, but there is a new center fielder for Bellevue. 1-2. Fly ball, that's foul. Hits off the light pole behind the Lake Stevens dugout. Count stays at 1-2. You got to give credit to Colton for that. That's harder than you think. I've only seen that one other time. That was during the state playoffs, and it sounded louder than that. Throw to second. Not in time. So even if Colton ends this at-bat with an out, he can always leave the batter's box with the achievement that he hit the light pole. That's hard to do. 1-2. Strike three called. And Pennington strikes out Colton Hogel for the first out. Now we go to Cameron Austin. 0 for 3 with a couple of fielder's choices, one of them resulting in an RBI, and he struck out looking in the third. That was the first strikeout for Pennington, and the 7th strikeout for Bellevue pitching tonight. Steps off the rubber. And Pennington outside, ball one. Pennington getting the sign from the catcher. Wayman Whiting looks over at second base. Throws the second, not in time. To try and get Theron. Theron representing some insurance that Lake Stevens desperately needs right now. They had a 5-0 lead. They now lead 5-4. They allowed 1 run in the 4th inning, 3 in the 5th. The 1-0. It'll be a ball 2 inside. Count is 2-0. Pennington wind up. Looks over at second and does not throw. This one, throw to third. Is it in time? Yes, it is. No, but he drops the baseball. Trent Gertz drops the baseball. Theron gets a stolen base. Count is now 3-0. It was a one-hopper to the third baseman, Trent Gertz. Infield is in. 3-0. Ball 4. The Vikings have runners on the corners. Cameron at first, Theron at third for Devin McWaters. 0 for 2. Struck out swinging in the first, looking in the third. Both against Braden Tanaka, the freshman, and then in the 5th inning against Ryan Enger was walked, where we saw a few of Ryan Enger's errant pitches that we saw for the majority of the top of the 5th. Pennington looking at first towards Austin. Throw to first, not in time. Not in time to the first baseman, Jackson Martinez. Pennington looking over at first. Doesn't get him. Throws to Martinez again. And Pennington yet to throw a pitch to McWaters. And the first pitch as a strike. One looking. Cameron gets a stolen base, his first one of the night. As the Vikings now have insurance at second and third. Just needs to hit one into the outfield. The infield is in. And the 0-1 tries bunting for it along the third base line. That rolls foul. Count is now 0-2. So Seattle University, the main owner of Bannerwood Park, will be playing here starting this Friday against Utah Valley. 0-2. Swing and a miss, strike three. Devin McWaters strikes a swing for the third time, and here is Alex Peterson. The pinch hitter for Caden Pattison. And a timeout by Alex. Alex Peterson, he has yet to have a varsity base hit. But in the event that he does, he has a chance to break this game wide open for the Vikings. First pitch, a strike one looking. He struck out looking back in the top of the fifth inning. And the 0-1. Foul ball. That hits the fence above the backstop. Count is now 0-2. Lake Stevens, they have left 3 runners on base in the past 2 innings. Fly ball. This one going into center field. That will fall. Theron's going to score. Cameron's going to score as well. Alex Peterson, his first varsity hit, results in 2 more runs on the board. A 2-run single to center field by Alex Peterson. The Vikings now lead 7-4. Now here is Tommy Lindgren, the catcher. He's had a base hit in his last 2 at-bats, which included a run for Trey Long. First pitch, a strike one looking. Trey has been taken over for him on the base pass, resulted in 2 stolen bases and a run. And that was just in the first at-bat. The second at-bat, he resulted in him staying at third base. The 0-1, outside, ball 1. And Ryan Pennington looks over at first. The 1-1. Fly ball going into left field. Back goes to left fielder, and he will make the catch. That's number 14. My mistake. That is number 16, Decker Meckham. And that will end the top of the 6th inning. 2 runs on 2 hits. No errors and 1 runner left on, highlighted by a 2-run single by Alex Peterson. And congratulations to him on his first varsity hit being a 2-run single. Lake Stevens now leads by the score of 7-4. There'll be a new pitcher for the Vikings. It'll be number 7, Xander Fogel, in the bottom of the 6th. He'll face off against the 9-1 and 2 hitters, Jace Zimmerman, Connor Cirillo, and Josh White talking to the home plate umpire. And as of right now, possibly Ryan Anger, but that may change as we get to that point. Bottom of the 6th inning. Bellevue, they're trying to respond as Lake Stevens once again leads by 3. And we are now back in the bottom of the 6th inning. Lake Stevens leads Bellevue by the score of 7-4. A new pitcher for the Vikings in number 7, Xander Fogel, making his first appearance since the first game of the season. No wins and no losses, an ERA of 14. First pitch, a fly ball, foul. Hits off of the shed, which is right next to the open bullpen on the first base line. Count starts at 0-1. It'll be pinch hitter number 11, Cooper Benskin, for Jace Zimmerman. Timeout by Lake Stevens. And Cameron Austin finishing with an inning and 2/3. Allowing 3 runs, 2 of them earned. Walking 3 batters. And the 0-1 pitch, ball 1. And 2 strikeouts and 3 hits. 1-1. Low, ball 2. Face off against the 8-9-1 hitters of Benskin, Connor Cirillo, and as of right now, Ryan Enger, but again, that may change. And Cameron Austin, if the Vikings hold on for the win, will finish with a no decision. 2-1. And a strike 2. Count is even at 2-2, or should I say regardless, Cameron Austin will get a no decision. The Vikings do still have the lead. McWaters is still online for the win, and Braden Tanaka is still online for the loss. The windup and the 2-2 by Fogel inside ball 3. Count is full. Fogel, in his lone appearance, he has thrown 1 inning, allowing 2 hits, 2 earned runs, and striking out a batter. No wins and no losses. Again, his ERA is 14. And the payoff pitch by Xander. And a strike 3 call for the first out. And now bring up Connor Cirillo for the 4th time around. He is 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts and a walk. And it will be Ryan Enger back in the number 2 spot, as he got a fielder's choice, got on base on a fielder's choice off of Cameron Austin and scored. First pitch, a ball 1. Ball gets away from Tommy Lindgren. And the 1-0 ground ball off the glove of Fogel into the hole in center field. And Connor Cirillo with his first hit of the night. It'll be a 1-out single for the Wolverines. Now here is Ryan Enger. Again, he got on base on an 0-2 pitch on a fielder's choice, as they were able to get Cirillo out at second base. And Enger would later score 1 of the 3 runs. He would score on not a sacrifice fly. He would score on the RBI single by Wayman Whiting. First pitch, fly ball. That was going in the right field. That will fall foul with a 0-1 count. Xander looking at Cirillo at first, the 0-1. And a strike 2 looking, count 0-2. And Cameron in 1 2/3 inning threw as many pitches as Devin in 3 1/3. Devin threw 60 pitches, Cameron Austin threw 53 pitches. And the 0-2 by Xander. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. He gets Ryan Anger swinging for his second strikeout of the night. Here is Trent Gertz. 1 for 2 with a single and a run in the 5th. Runner goes. Lindgren to throw to second. Is it in time? It is not in time. A stolen base by Cirillo. And the count will start off 1-0. Again, the next game for both of these teams, Lake Stevens against Meadowdale in 2 days. Bellevue against Mountain View in 3 days. On Friday, March 23rd for Bellevue. On Thursday, March 22nd for Lake Stevens. 1-0. Throw to second. Not in time as the shortstop Theron Perkins is able to get the ball. Currently no updates on the game. Going on between Mariner and Cedar Crest. Ground ball. This one going to Theron. Drops the ball. Picks it up quickly. Throws to first. It is in time. Did he get him? Yes, he did. And that will end the 6th inning. No runs on 1 hit. No errors and 1 runner left on. Bellevue held scoreless for the first time since the 3rd inning. And we now go into the top of the 7th. Now, wait a minute. Trent Gertz is staying at the first base bag. Everyone on Lake Stevens' side went to the dugout. Trent Gertz is standing on the first base bag. Nope, you're saying that he's safe. And the inning will continue. It'll be an error on the shortstop Theron Perkins because he dropped the ball and then threw it. Connor Cirillo will go to third. Here is Wayman Whiting. Last 2 at-bats resulted in runs for Bellevue. And the first pitch, fly ball. This one going into left center field. Does he make the catch? No, he does not. And a run will score. The center fielder trying to dive for it, cannot make it. It'll be a single. Score is 7-5. Trent Gertz will go to third. There will be runners on the corners. And there will be a pinch runner for Trent Gertz. No, not for Trent Gertz, for Wayman Whiting. That is number 27, Connor Angelo, as he represents the game-tying run on first base. Here is Ryan Pennington. It is sacrifice fly to the center fielder, Cameron Austin. Or to the center fielder who at the time was Mick Waters for a sacrifice fly. First pitch. Ground ball, chopper. Count starts at 0-1. It'll be an unearned run for Xander. First pitch. And a check swing, strike 2. And Angelo, he was hesitating as he was going to second. Now he'll walk to second base. And now there are runners on first and second. Game-tying run is in scoring position. Xander Fogle against Ryan Pennington, the center fielder. Xander steps off of the rubber. Xander getting the sign from the catcher, Tommy Lindgren. Wind up. Fly ball. Line drive foul. into the Lake Stevens bullpen. Count stays at 0-2. When the Vikings arrived at Bannerwood Park, there was a game that was already in progress and was just close to ending, and that was between Kentwood and Hazen. Kentwood, they are a top-tier program, definitely has been in the past few years. They won a state championship with a guy who's currently in the Toronto Blue Jays organization named Reese McGuire. 0-2. Inside, ball 1. Count is a 1-2 pitch, a close call. And the at-bat will stay alive. Reese McGuire, he led Kentwood to a state championship back in 2012. He is currently with the Toronto Blue Jays spring training team. The 1-2, swing and a miss. Lindgren, the throw to first, it is in time, it'll end the 6. Xander Fogel strikes out the side. Bellevue gets a run on the board. It'll be 1 run on 2 hits, 1 error, 2 runners left on. He scored now Lake Stevens 7, Bellevue 5. We go into the top of the 7th inning. Lake Stevens bringing in the top 3 hitters for the 5th time around. Tanner Lynn, Hunter Zalasko, and Aaron Lampinen, as there is yet to be a pitcher seen for Bellevue. But when a pitcher will come, it'll be the top of the 7th inning. Lake Stevens leads Bellevue by the score of 7-5. We are now back into the top of the 7th inning. Ryan Pennington back on the mound for the Bellevue Wolverines. They'll face off against Tanner Lind for the first time. First pitch, swing and a miss, strike 1. Tanner, he is 0 for 1 with 2 runs. He got hit, was walked, got on base on an error, and struck out. Got 3 stolen bases in the process as well. And the 0-1, a quick pitch, a bunt towards the pitcher Pennington, who throws to first. A quick throw, it'll be in time for the first out of the top of the 7th. Here is Hunter Zalasko. Who is fortunately playing in the entirety of this baseball game after leaving after the top of the 1st inning. He is currently 1 for 1 with the double in the 1st inning. He got hit twice, and he was walked in the 4th. The long windup by Pennington, ball 1. Pennington has been shifting this inning between a long windup and just a quick pitch. And the long windup by Pennington outside, ball 2. And so at Bannerwood Park, I told you what was inside Bannerwood Park, about outside the walls of the stadium. Inside the fence are the pictures of the coaches for Seattle U. The 2-0. Strike 1 looking. Count 2 balls and 1 strike. And on the light poles in the parking lot outside of Bannerwood, there's also posters that show the players that won the team's offensive MVP and the pitching MVP from every year for the last 10 years. 2-1. Inside, ball 3. And Ryan Pennington, last season, he pitched in only 3 games. No wins and no losses, an ERA of 8.65. 3-1. Foul chopper, count is full. As he threw 5 2/3 innings, allowing 13 hits, 7 earned runs, walking 3 batters, striking out nobody. Payoff pitch, a strike 3 called, as Pennington will strike out Hunter Zalasko. That's his 3rd strikeout of the night. And here is Aaron Lampinen, 2 for 4, with 2 singles, an RBI, a run, and a stolen base out of those 2 plate appearances that ended in base hits. And he popped out to the first baseman Jackson Martinez in the other 2. And Pennington, the windup in the first pitch. Line drive in and out of the glove of the first baseman Jackson Martinez. He's able to touch the first base bag. And it'll be a 1-2-3 inning. No runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left on. Lake Stevens, they are 3 outs away from getting their 4th win of the year. As Xander Fogel walks back up to the mound in the bottom of the 7th inning, he'll face off against Will Durrell, Jackson Martinez, and Thomas Bennett. As Lake Stevens leads by the score of 7-5, they are 3 outs away from getting another Lake Stevens Viking victory. And we are now back into the bottom of the 7th inning. Lake Stevens looking to leave Bellevue and Bannerwood Park with a victory. They lead 7-5. Xander Fogel on the mound against Will Durrell. First pitch. Fly ball, foul. Durrell, he has no official at-bat. Entering the bottom of the 7th inning, has been walked twice and got on base on an error by the shortstop Theron Perkins. And Ryan Pennington finishing his day on the mound. 2 innings, 33 pitches, 2 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, and 4 strikeouts, which is tied with Braden Tanaka for the team high. Today, the 0-1 pitch, check swing, strike 2 looking. And Xander Fogel now with an 0-2 count. And the windup, the pitch. Upstairs, ball 1. And the first 3 batters for Xander: Will Durrell, Jackson Martinez, and Thomas Bennett. First time they'll face Xander tonight. Timeout by Will. The pitch. Low, ball 2. Count is even. Bellevue, they need 2 to tie and 3 to walk it off against Lake Stevens. And Xander, the windup in the 2-2. Strike 3 called. He gets him looking. And Xander Fogel with strikeout number 4 on the night. It is the 10th strikeout by Lake Stevens pitching. There is Jackson Martinez, someone who who hasn't struck out tonight. He is 1 for 3. First pitch inside, ball 1. Jackson Martinez, one of a few Bellevue hitters who has not struck out. Trent Gertz hasn't struck out, and that's the only other hitter. And 2 Bellevue hitters has not struck out. And the 1-0 low, ball 2. Bellevue with a recent surge in the last few innings. They didn't have a hit in the first 4 innings. In the bottom of the 4th, they had a run. And then in the 5th inning, they scored 3 runs. And in the 6th inning, they got another run after a call was overturned that would have ended the inning. And a 2-0 pitch, foul. Chopper hits above the backstop. Count 2 balls, 1 strike. And Xander, the windup in the 2-1. Inside, ball 3. So now that the Meadowdale Mavericks, they played Jackson, and they lost to Jackson. Was that their final game? Yes, it was. So Meadowdale will enter Thursday's matchup without getting a single win. The 1-2 pitch deep. Not deep. Fly ball into right center field. Caught by the center fielder, Cameron Austin. I don't know why I thought that was deep. The outfielders have been playing in this whole game. A fly ball in the center field. That is for out number 2. Bellevue's last hope relies on the designated hitter, Thomas Bennett. 0 for 2 with a pop out to the pitcher. A walk in the 4th inning. And he struck out swinging to end the 5th with runners on 2nd and 3rd base. And the first pitch by Xander, strike 1 looking. So Meadowdale will enter Thursday's matchup without a win, as they are 0-2. While Bellevue will enter a matchup. The 0-1 pitch outside ball 1. Mountain View will enter Bellevue's matchup. They'll play a game on Thursday, and then we'll play against Bellevue on Friday. The Mountain View Thunder, even at 1-1. And a strike 2 looking. Count is 1-2. Xander, 1 strike left before the Vikings can pull off another win. And Xander, the windup and the 1-2. Strike 3 called. This one belongs to the Lake Stevens Vikings. Strikeout number 5 for Xander Fogel. Does an amazing job in relief. And the final score from Bannerwood Park in Bellevue. The Lake Stevens Vikings 7. The Bellevue Wolverines 5. No runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left on. The winning pitcher is Devin McWaters, who not only gets his first win of the year, he also gets his first ever win with the Lake Stevens varsity baseball team, and that also counts last season as well. And the losing pitcher is Braden Tanaka. Lake Stevens moving up to 4 wins and 1 loss. Bellevue down to 1 win and 5 losses. Lake Stevens, they'll play the Meadowdale Mavericks, who are still searching for their first win of the year, at 0-2 on Thursday, March 21st at Lake Stevens High School, while the Bellevue Wolverines will play their next game on Friday, March 23rd against the Mountain View Thunder on the road down in Vancouver, and then play another game after that against Battleground, also around that area in Vancouver. So, once again, at 9:37 p.m. from Bannerwood Park in Bellevue, Washington, the final score is Lake Stevens 7, Bellevue 5. My name is Payne Patchett, and you have been listening to Lake Stevens Vikings Varsity Baseball.